Everybody, so I'm sorry, I know the lighting and everything is absolutely terrible again this week. I am getting a new space to shoot for myself, but it's only going to be ready in the week or setting up a new space, so I thought let me at least just upload something instead of just leaving it and not doing anything this week. So yes, I'm going to be talking about my own personal story just because I feel like you need to know my story and able to appreciate the rest of the things I'm gonna post. I don't know, that's just how I feel. I always want to know what people's stories are. So I throughout primary school and high school was, I don't like the word fine, I use it for lack of a better word, but I was fine. Got to varsity and I started to really struggle just in terms of I wasn't like in a friend group. I really struggled, like I started failing a lot of things because it was a really difficult transition for me. And then I decided, I'm gonna go see a GP. Let me just go find out what's going on because I was sleeping 22 hours a day. I wasn't eating. Like my family was really worried about me. So I went to see a GP and she was like, no, listen, she thinks it's depression. Here's some antidepressants. Cool. Started using them and things started to go a lot better, but I decided, you know what, I've already messed up first year so much. Let me just take a break off the year and restart next year, which was something I did for myself. I felt like it was something I needed to do. So I restarted first year the next year, and well, I'm qualified now, so obviously must have done something. So any case, then I continued to over the next 4 years still have a lot of dips, and when I refer to dips, I mean those things where you're not sleeping or you're sleeping way too much, you are irritated, you're really sad all the time for no reason, you feel quite like depressed and worthless. Like I say depressed, but I mean depressed in terms of you feel really just off and you feel terrible. There's no reason for it. You didn't, just get dumped by your boyfriend and you feel you just feel terrible. And then my stepmom went, listen, don't you think you should go see someone because it shouldn't still be happening this often if you're on the right meds? So she actually just went, okay, maybe you're not on the right meds. Instead of going to a GP, go see a psychiatrist, which I 10 out of 10 recommend, honestly. So I went to see my psychiatrist in just before my wedding. So it was October of last year. Did all these questions on me. Turns out I'm a type 2 bipolar. So in my bipolar series, whatever I'll be doing, we'll cover like all the types of bipolar. But basically I have highs and lows, but I don't have highs and lows like what we're used to because I wasn't even aware of this. My highs are in terms of I don't sleep. Like I'll sleep 2 hours, my husband will go to bed and I'll stay up for like 4 hours watching a series. I'll be extremely hyper. I'll talk very fast. Anyone who knows me personally knows there are times when I speak ridiculously fast. My mind jumps the whole time. I can't focus on anything. And then in my lows, it's also that again there. I just want to sleep the whole time. I don't get sad, but I get extremely irritated. So he diagnosed me with that, put me on new meds. And it's been quite a journey because with meds for mental health, it's not just like when you have a flu, they can put you on a med and it goes away. It's something that they need to keep trying and testing and adjusting. No person's meds that they're on this are the same. So every 2 months that I've gone to my psychiatrist, he's actually adjusted my meds slightly. He tried to stop my antidepressant in one stage, which did not go well. So I'm back on those, which a lot of people with type 2 bipolar, for example, don't need to be on. Then I've also end last year when I was in one of my internships, I started getting serious anxiety. But when I say serious anxiety, I mean like for no reason. Like I was stressed, it's an internship, but everything was freaking me out. It's that dread feeling like something bad is going to happen, something terrible, and I started having that the whole time, and it went away, and then it came back now, and I even have less to stress than about last year. So he put me on some stuff for the anxiety as well now, which has been working like a bomb. And then in terms of just family and friends and stuff, I have a lot of people, I know a lot of people who struggle with mental illness, and it's people don't want to talk about it because you're just, you're just acting out, or it's just a bad day, or other people have it worse than you, because all of us have heard that, like it'll get better. And it isn't something like that. When you have a real mental illness, depression, bipolar, anxiety, an eating disorder, anything, it's not something that never, ever, ever let someone convince you or make you think that you are faking it, or that this is something that's in your head, because it isn't. It's a medical disorder, which I will be covering in all of my things. So that's sort of briefly my own story. Obviously there was stuff in between, and I have to say that the people in my life I'm very thankful for. In the beginning, when I met my husband, he was also like, no, he doesn't really believe in mental illness and stuff. And when he saw me go through my first dip, he was like, okay, no, because it was at a stage where I was driving my car and I was driving into a parking lot. I laugh now, but it was actually pretty freaking terrifying. And I drove into a parking, like I was going slow, but I hit a pole in front of me and I just went, meh. And I reversed and I literally hit my car again and I just went, meh. And I parked again. And now he like, I just started taking my keys away because I get so like, I actually just could not care less. And that's not a good space to be in. So now I'm doing a lot better on my meds. It's something I'm extremely, like you've probably heard by now, very passionate about. So that is just my story in short. We can sit here for like 7 hours if I try and go through everything. But yeah. So if you have any questions, comments, want to share your own story, this is a space for you to do that. I know some people aren't always necessarily to do it yet, necessarily ready to do it yet, and that's fine. Thank you so much, and I'm saying again, I was trying so hard not to. Thank you so much to everyone for your inboxes that were saying, you know, they really appreciated my post and encouraging me to do more. I like that, really did mean a lot to me. If you also have any questions, you want to comment or anything, please feel free to do so. And then next week we're going to start looking into depression. So I decided to split depression and bipolar into 2 subjects just because they're actually so much to say about both of them and I don't want to rush it off. So next week we're literally just looking at depression, what it is, that kind of thing. And then just before I log off or say bye, just remember, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist. This is out of things that I've researched, looked up, and from stuff that I myself know. So if you are worried that you have any mental illness, depression, schizophrenia, bipolar, anything, go see a doctor. Google will lie to you. We call it Dr. Google in Afrikaans. Dr. Google. Don't do that to yourself. Okay, so I hope to see you guys next week. If you have specific things, like I said, that you want me to talk about, specific questions you may have, please feel free to comment them or to inbox them to me. And then from today, I'm also going to start posting it on YouTube, just because I know it's a lot easier for some people to watch it as one whole video instead of having to scroll it through Instagram the whole time. So if you'd like to check it on YouTube, please do that as well. Yeah, and I really appreciate all you guys' likes and comments and the time you spend on my videos. Thanks everyone.